"You're not family, just the maid who married my son." Patricia's voice crackled through the phone, full of satisfaction. "That settlement money belongs to a real family now." I held onto the edge of my hospital bed, my legs still aching from therapy. A year had passed since the accident, but the pain remained, both in my body and in my heart. Yet nothing hurt more than this betrayal. My name is Isabella Santos. I'm 29 years old, and right now, my mother-in-law is bragging about stealing the $850,000 settlement I received after a drunk driver hit me. That money was meant for my medical care, lost wages, and home adjustments. But Patricia had taken it all. "You never deserved that money," she sneered. "My Marcus married beneath him. At least now I can make sure it stays with true family." I took a deep breath. "Thank you for telling me, Patricia," I said calmly. Silence. She had expected me to cry or beg. "That's all you have to say," she snapped. "Yes, have a nice day." I hung up and immediately called my lawyer. "Mr. Davidson, it's Isabella. She did exactly what you predicted." His voice was steady. "We've got her. Everything is documented. Shall I proceed?" "Yes," I said firmly. "It's time." Patricia had been trying to steal my money for months. She had pretended to be me on phone calls, forged documents, and even tried to change my account passwords. But I had been warned. The bank manager, an old friend of my late father, had alerted me to her actions. So we set a trap. I used to be Patricia's housekeeper before I married Marcus, and she never forgave me for it. Even when I was in the hospital, she told Marcus to leave me. "She'll never walk again," she had said. "Do you want to be stuck with a cripple?" But Marcus had stayed. He helped me through surgery, therapy, and recovery. And the stronger our love grew, the more bitter Patricia became. Now, messages were flooding in from Marcus's sister, Amanda. "Mom saying she took your money to buy me a house. What's going on?" I didn't reply. Amanda had always sided with her mother. Let them think they had won for now. Then Marcus called. "Bella," he said, his voice tense. "Mom just called me. She's saying something about your settlement money." "It's handled," I assured him. He was quiet for a moment. Then he chuckled. "She really stole it." "She tried," I corrected, "but now she's going to regret it." Marcus and I had planned for this. We had set up a fake account with a small amount of money, knowing Patricia would go after it. She thought she had stolen everything. In reality, the real settlement was safe. And now she had walked right into a trap. I checked my email. Mr. Davidson had already sent over the evidence. Patricia's fraud was fully documented. Her own phone call admitting to the theft was the final proof we needed. Amanda texted again. "Mom's throwing a big family dinner to announce my new house. Don't ruin this." I smiled. Patricia would soon be getting a very different phone call, one from the bank, about unauthorized access and legal charges. The sun was setting outside my window, and for the first time in a long while, I felt at peace. Patricia had spent years trying to push me out of the family. Now she would finally see who she had underestimated. Later that night, Marcus sat on my hospital bed, still in his scrubs. He held my hand and smirked. "Mom's dinner is happening. She has a big announcement." I squeezed his hand. "I'm sure she does. Should we go?" "No," I said, smiling. "I think we'll let the bank handle it." We had given Patricia every chance to accept me. Instead, she chose to see me as a nobody. Now she would face the consequences. My phone buzzed. The bank manager was calling. It was time. The bank manager's call went exactly as planned. I knew what had happened from the flood of texts and voicemails I got in the next hour. First came Amanda's message. "Mom just got a call during dinner. She's freaking out. What did you do?" Then Patricia herself, no longer smug but panicked. "You set me up. Call me back immediately." Marcus, sitting beside me, read the messages over my shoulder. He held up his phone. "Mom just called me too. She wants me to control my wife. Her words, not mine." I leaned back against my pillows, remembering how Mr. Davidson and I had prepared for this. We knew Patricia would try something reckless. She always did when she felt threatened. The small account we left open for her was like bait in a trap. The bank manager had called her to explain that her actions had triggered fraud alerts. The money she stole was frozen. The bank's fraud team and the police were now involved. Patricia had just committed a federal crime. My phone rang again. It was Mr. Davidson. It's done, he said. She tried to lie and say you gave her permission, but we have all her previous fraud attempts documented. They're taking this very seriously. Before I could respond, I heard a commotion outside. Patricia's angry voice echoed down the hospital hallway. Where is she? I know she's in here. Marcus stood up, blocking the door. I'll handle this. Patricia stormed into the room, her fancy blouse wrinkled, her usually perfect hair a mess. Amanda followed behind, looking unsure. You ungrateful little snake, Patricia spat. After everything I've done for you. I stayed calm. Everything you've done? Like trying to get Marcus to leave me while I was in the hospital, or stealing my settlement money. That money should go to real family. She turned to Marcus. Are you just going to let her do this to me? I'm your mother. Marcus's voice was cold. Do what, Mom? Stop you from stealing? Yes, I am. Amanda stepped forward, looking confused. Mom said Bella gave her permission. She said the money was for my house. I pulled out my phone and pressed play. Patricia's own words filled the room. You're not family, you're just the maid who married my son. That settlement money belongs to real family now. Patricia's face went pale. You recorded me? Of course. I'd also have proof of every time you tried to access my account. Every fake document, every lie. It's all there. Patricia slumped into a chair, her hands shaking. You planned this. You knew I would? Try to steal from me? Yes, we knew. You've made it clear from the start that you don't see me as family. But did you really think I was just the maid you could take advantage of? Amanda looked between her mother and me, finally realizing the truth. Mom, what did you do? Marcus answered for her. What she always does. She underestimated Bella. But this time, there are consequences. As if on cue, my phone buzzed. A message from Mr. Davidson. The bank has filed the fraud report. Patricia's crime was now official. Get out, I said quietly. Both of you. The bank will contact you soon. Patricia stood up, her confidence gone. You can't do this to me. I'm your mother-in-law. I met her eyes. No, you're the woman who tried to steal from me while I was recovering from an accident that nearly killed me. Now leave before I call security. As they walked out, Amanda hesitated in the doorway. I had to know. Yes, you did, I said. You just ignored it. After they were gone, Marcus sat beside me, taking my hand. You okay? I nodded, feeling relieved. Your mom finally showed everyone who she really is. No more pretending. She'll never forgive you for this, he said softly. I smiled, squeezing his hand. Good thing I stopped caring a long time ago. The sun was setting outside, casting long shadows on the ground. Patricia had spent years trying to prove I didn't belong in her family. Instead, she had proven why she didn't belong in mine. 5 months later, I was in our newly renovated kitchen, making dinner. On days when my legs needed rest, I could now reach everything easily from my wheelchair. The changes we made with the settlement money had turned our home into a place where I could move freely and stay independent. The doorbell rang. Marcus answered it, and I heard Mr. Davidson's familiar voice. Over the past few months, he had become more than just our lawyer. He had been our support through everything. The plea deal is final, he said as he sat at the kitchen island. Patricia agreed to all terms. Her punishment had been quick and serious. The bank's fraud team had built a strong case, leaving her no way out. The deal kept her out of jail, but she was on probation, had to go to financial counseling, and most importantly, had to pay back every dollar she tried to steal. Has she signed everything? I asked, placing a cup of coffee in front of him. Yes. She's also banned from handling money for any business or person. And her reputation. He paused, then smirked. Let's just say she's not very popular at the country club anymore. Marcus shook his head. She did this to herself. How's Amanda handling it? She's been helping the investigation, Mr. Davidson replied. She even gave proof of other times your mother misused family money. I wasn't surprised. After Patricia's crime was exposed, more people came forward. Relatives told stories about stolen inheritances, unpaid loans, and forged documents. The perfect image Patricia had built for herself was gone. Just then, my phone buzzed with a text from Amanda. Can we talk? Please? She had been reaching out more often lately, trying to fix things. Her messages showed she was finally realizing the truth about her mother, but I wasn't ready to forgive her yet. Some betrayals take time to heal. The renovation company called, Marcus said, changing the subject. The bathroom upgrades are done. You'll be able to use everything on your own now. I smiled, thinking about how far we had come. The settlement money had done what it was supposed to. It helped me rebuild my life after the accident. Patricia had tried to take it, but in the end she had only destroyed herself. That evening, Marcus and I sat on our adapted back porch, watching the sunset. My phone buzzed with an email from Mr. Davidson. Attached was Patricia's signed confession. She admitted to everything. Her words were stiff, clearly written under legal pressure, but one sentence stood out. I acknowledged that my actions were driven by prejudice and a refusal to accept Isabella as family. Marcus glanced over my shoulder. You should frame that, he joked. It's probably the closest thing to an apology you'll ever get from her. I closed the email, feeling lighter. I don't need her apology. I never did. And it was true. For years, Patricia had tried to prove I wasn't part of her family. But in the end, she had only shown that money doesn't buy class. And that real family isn't about wealth or status. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting our home in golden light. The settlement had given me back my independence, but standing up to Patricia had given me something even more valuable: the strength to decide for myself who my family really was. As if he could read my mind, Marcus squeezed my hand. Mom always said she was protecting the family legacy. She never realized she was actually destroying it. I nodded, watching the last light fade. Patricia's legacy would be one of shame. But ours? Ours was still being written, built on love, respect, and the courage to stand up for what's right. Tomorrow, I would continue my therapy and keep rebuilding my strength. But tonight, I sat beside my husband in a home that finally felt like ours, free from Patricia's shadow. The real settlement wasn't the money. It was the peace of knowing she could never control my life again. And that was worth more than anything she had ever tried to steal.